And we are live. Good evening, everybody. It is December 4th. Is that right? December 4th. And it's Monday night. And a countdown to, it's only what, 3 weeks away, Christmas.
I
I
forgot
know.
to get an advent calendar.
The best ones to get, Helen, are the ones with the chocolate candy in them,
I
right?
sent them to my grandchildren.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. So welcome to Helen from the Irish Granny. We were having a really good time. The last time we were together, we thought we'd chat for a while and then pull some cards. We had some good juju cards coming out. They complemented each other. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, it was interesting. Yeah.
It was interesting. So normally Helen and I do it in the morning, but we thought we would do it in the evening. And so I love the way she looks. She almost looks like she's ready for a seance where she is.
Watch out. You know, there is no such thing as doing it in the daylight this time of year.
That's very true, especially when it gets dark at 3:30 or 4 o'clock.
Two
Yeah.
o'clock this afternoon, I was getting like, oh, maybe I could justify going and watching the evening news. And
Yeah.
it was 2 o'clock.
I know. I know. I get it. Sometimes I go to bed at 8 o'clock because I'm so exhausted and I wake up thinking I've slept for, there must be the morning, but it's only midnight. So it's like, I'm all turned around. I'm all turned around. Yeah.
Oh,
Anyway,
well.
yes. So I'm going to say hello to some people in the chat in a minute. But Helen and I were talking about lots of different things behind the curtain, and I was getting updates of what she's been reading and working with. Most of you know that Helen is our book maven. She reads the books, she analyzes them, and talks about them on her channel, and everybody just loves that because it's wonderful because they take an hour to 2-3 hours to listen to you, and that doesn't take them 17 or 18 hours to read the book. So yeah, they're getting a good, yeah.
Somebody on my channel, one of my subscribers, enjoys getting in touch with me afterwards and telling me, well, I got my deck stained and I painted my window frames this week. I did my yard. I was like, listen.
Oh, well, I read a book.
Well,
Right?
no, but while listening.
While listening.
Yeah.
Yes, Helen. Yes, Helen. I did that during 2020. I listened to audiobooks when I was walking.
Yes.
And but then my feet got bunions and all kinds of problems, so I can't do that anymore. So I'd be happy just to listen to you or someone else that was talking about the book. So
yeah, well, this is a frustrating time of year for going outside to walk. We've had so much rain. I went for a walk the other day and it took, it takes 3 hours to get ready because you have to wear so many layers because it's cold, right? So
Yes.
I stepped outside the door with my dogs. We got half a block. They were soaked. I was soaked, and my umbrella was inside out. And I just thought, this is a sign from the universe that I'm not meant to be an athlete. So I went home.
You took the sign anyway. You could have just kept going and been more miserable. So I'm glad you did.
I'm not cut out for no.
I get it. I totally get it.
I would never make the Olympics in any way.
Yeah. So Helen was telling me that she has been fascinated with reading some of Linda Moulton Howe's books. And Linda has, she was a reporter, you said, an investigative reporter, and was asked many years ago to investigate cattle mutilations over in Eastern Washington.
Eastern Washington, yeah. And she was a science person and was hired on as an investigative reporter. And then one of the part of the country where this newspaper is ranches. And they were having really bad time with animals, mostly cattle, goats, horses, sheep, dogs, and cats, turning up dead and in a very odd way, bloodless, precision cuts. And this is the early 70s before lasers were a thing, And even today they said, if you were going to bring a laser out into a rancher's field to cut up a cow, you'd need a generator. And, you just, at the time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
She got interested in it, and she wrote a book called Alien Harvest, which I covered
Okay.
probably a year and a half, 2 years ago. She wrote a book on crop circles. She's written
Oh,
books on,
yeah.
well, she's written a whole bunch of books, but we have just been working our way through the second in a 2-volume series,
Glimpses of
Glimpses of Other Realities. This
other
is volume 2,
realities.
High
Okay.
Strangeness. And
Yep.
she is interesting because she's got enough science background that
Mhm.
she's knowledgeable, and scientists are willing to talk with her.
Right.
And she spent enough time in the field dealing with law enforcement that law enforcement is willing to talk to her.
Yeah.
And she has military people are willing to talk to her. She has a lot of
She's got good
sources.
street cred. Yeah.
Sources, yeah. And that's
Wow.
what's in this book. And, I thought I'd read everything,
Yeah.
all the books,
Yeah.
I keep up with it. There's
Yeah.
stuff in here I've never heard. And
Well,
I was,
and
go
yeah,
ahead.
that's the thing you had mentioned, because Jay says it's been happening a long time, and Linda
Yeah.
wrote this book in the 80s,
No,
but you
70.
the
Well,
70s.
it's written in the
Okay.
late 90s, but it's all the way back to the late 60s, early 70s where
Okay.
she started. Yeah.
But there's stuff in there that, unless you read the book, you wouldn't have known that happened all that
yeah,
time ago.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you're absolutely right, Jay. This goes back like centuries.
Yeah.
And but not well documented.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
people wrote it off to demons and
Oh, yeah.
whatever,
Yeah. Yeah.
And it really picked up after World War II.
Mm-hmm.
And there's theories about that.
There are theories about that.
Very interesting theories about why that might have happened.
Yep.
There are places I can't remember now because, I read it previous to yesterday, so I can't be expected to remember facts. But clusters of events, like 60 cats in a very small amount of time found, this is grim, bisected, cut in half like at the waist, and people would find one half but not the other.
Oh.
And there, in a small community, there would be 60, over like a month or something.
Sure.
So, and not one this is global, by the way, I should add.
Okay.
It's global.
Okay. Yep.
So she interviewed military people who worked at Malmstrom Air Force Base in the Midwest, where they had nuclear missiles turned off, the codes erased, and the whole thing turned off, like 10 or 15 of them at one time. She interviewed the people from the book Left at East Gate, about the Rendlesham Forest incident in England. There's a shared base between the RAF, not any longer, but RAF and the American Air Force. And they're sort of side by side. They share some infrastructure. And the base is surrounded by the Rendlesham Forest. And in 1980, early 80s, they had a couple of huge incidents where even the head of the base interacted with something.
No, I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
Actually, during those hearings, of which Linda was there, I think, that they had recently, what was it, in the spring? Some people stood up.
David Grosh, I think
his name. Yes. He talked about going somewhere, and this blew my mind. He was in the military. He was told to go somewhere with a group of people, and they were seeing a UFO loading people up into it.
Yeah.
And you can ask UFO questions if you want, Jay. We're going to do readings. Whatever it is that you want to ask is fine.
Sure. And, and I'm no expert, but I might remember something I've read.
No, but as far as readings go,
we'll
we'll ask the tarot or the oracle cards.
Well, there's a lot of theories. I was telling Allie, there are a lot of theories. And when this all first started to be more publicly covered, like maybe 80s and 90s. Whitley Strieber's book Communion kind of was the crack in the dam with the gray alien on the cover.
Yeah.
These stories all started coming out much more publicly, and John Mack at Harvard took people seriously who had stories to tell
They
about
did.
being abducted.
He did.
And
Yep.
he didn't treat them like they had a mental illness. In fact, he tested them extensively and said,
Yep.
you know, the only thing they're suffering from is anxiety, post-traumatic stress sort of
Right.
anxiety.
But
Yeah.
didn't they ridicule John Mack? The how
Oh,
it
they
should be?
tried
Oh
to
yeah.
take away his tenure.
Yeah.
It was a
Yeah.
huge
I thought
battle, a
so.
huge,
Yeah.
yeah. He
Mhm.
eventually won in the end. Now he's famous, actually. He won the
Yes, he is.
Pulitzer Prize for
Yes.
writing the Lawrence of Arabia definitive book in the 60s, I think, maybe
Mhm.
the late 50s. I can't remember. But
Mhm.
you know, he died.
Oh, I did. I wasn't aware that he did.
He
Okay.
went to England. Here's an interesting story. It's, you know, if you like conspiracies, he went
Uh-huh.
to England for some sort of a business conference type thing, but he had a meeting at a cocktail lounge with, oh, what is that guy's name? I'm so bad with names. He's got a really funny name. It starts with an R. It's a bit of a lengthy name. I think he's English. He's kind of a philosopher. I'll remember 3 o'clock this
I
coming.
know you will.
I'll
Yeah.
call you. 3 a.m. They met and discussed Lord knows what, and he headed home and was hit by a hit and run driver. He was killed.
Yeah. There's a lot of them that just end up
Uh,
sort of like that, isn't there?
I'm not
Yeah.
saying. I'm just,
I know. I know.
you
There was
know.
another one. There was another one that was that had been at Area 51, and he mysteriously disappeared at some point as well. Knock on wood or whatever. You
Yeah,
know, I
that
don't
whole
know.
Area 51 thing. You know, the whole the concept that the American government and other governments have no. Now, this has come out from a lot of different sources over a lot of different decades. So, you
Uh-huh.
know,
Yeah.
take it
Yeah.
with a block of salt. I don't know. But the claim is that for a very long time, governments have known about this and have
Mhm.
interacted. Now, Paul
Right.
Hellyer, who was the Minister of Defense in Canada for 3 different premiers, very well respected globally as a diplomat,
Uh-huh.
politician with the UN, you know, an academic, a
Mhm.
very sober, intelligent person. Towards the end of his life, came out and did interviews and said, "Yeah, I've sat across the table, Canadian politicians, American politicians,
Yep.
and aliens," and he
Yep.
flat out said it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I kind of believe that. I mean, I don't disbelieve it enough to say, oh no, that could never happen. Let's put it that way. And especially if he's as respected as it
Somebody
seems.
like that with a reputation to lose.
Right.
Well,
Right.
Edgar Mitchell.
Yes. Right. And also, what's his name that walked on the moon? Him
Uh,
too.
yeah, him. That guy.
Neil Armstrong.
Yeah, thank
Was Neil
you.
Armstrong. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
almost said Neil
Yeah.
Diamond.
Yeah.
Okay,
Neil
that's
Diamond.
right.
Well, you know. Yeah, why would they make it up? I agree, Laura. Absolutely. What because they'd only open themselves up to ridicule either way, but why would they make it up? It doesn't make sense. And I've seen a UFO, so I agree. Yeah.
Strawberry rhubarb, $400. You're absolutely right. This book that I got was over $100, and
Okay.
I searched and searched and
Everywhere.
searched.
Yep.
I got people to donate. I'm shameless, and I'm going to raffle it off to anybody who donates to my PayPal book fund. I'm
Uh-huh.
raffling books off as we cover them. However, as often happens in my life, the day I buy something, it goes on sale somewhere else. Denise Siegel said, "Helen, why didn't you go to Linda Moulton Howe's website and just order it from her website?"
Well, there
I
you
didn't
go. There
know.
you go. Well, for my anniversary on my wish list, I had this book that I wanted called Opening to the Infinite by Stephen Schwartz. And you know, because you've
Oh,
interviewed him.
oh,
And so my husband said, oh, Allie, I wanted to get you that book so bad. And everywhere I went, it was over $200. And I finally found it. And it's a secondhand one. It was for my anniversary. I'm sorry it's
thrift
second.
books.
Yeah, I'm
Thrift
sorry
books.
it's secondhand and written in, but it was $100 because it's out of print. That's why.
Listen, I got connections. I just emailed back and forth with him the other day. He's going to come back on my channel. We're going to talk about he's got a podcast, which also is a YouTube thing, and he does a blog, and they're all pretty much the same topic.
Yeah.
And he's one of the most ethical people I've ever heard in my entire life. He's remarkable, man, absolutely remarkable. And I feel bad. I feel kind of like a stalker, but he said he's going to come talk about.
Good.
I think we're going to talk
he's
about
the remote here. Everybody, so he's a remote viewer, and he kind of was the leading. He was in the leading edge of remote viewing, and Helen and I did a show where we talked about in Egypt uncovering.
He took remote viewers to Egypt. They found a lost city in the desert. And it was truly lost. The Nile's course changed. The lake that this port city had been built on dried up, and over the millennia, the city died. And records of it, no written records, and it was covered in sand. And he took a remote viewer out, and they wandered around the desert with an archaeologist for a while. The archaeologist was ridiculing them. We've been out here with sonar, and there's nothing there.
I know.
And suddenly the remote viewer stops, and he says, right here, dig down 3.5 feet, there's a city wall. And the archaeologist is just, you don't know. They dug down, and there was a whole entire city.
There was a
wall,
whole, it was amazing. It was amazing.
He found he found Cleopatra's palace. He found Mark Antony's palace, 2 separate places. He found a temple and an armory, all built out where the old seawall had been. But subsidence of the earth had inundated the seawall, and nobody knew. Nobody in Egypt knew where the original Alexandria seawall was. They found it. They found sunken ships from Napoleon Bonaparte when he came in and had a battle. And they think they found the empty tomb of Alexander the Great, but they think they also located his graves in a monastery, his bones in a monastery in the desert. Remote viewers, 2 remote viewers. One of them with an 8th grade education.
Yeah, which only goes to show that we all have the ability to do it. And, we have to just be, wow. All right. So I'm just saying hello to everybody. I don't want to ignore them because they are the sweetest, honestly. So I did put some names in, but thank you all for commenting here tonight. Thank you all for being here with Helen and I tonight. And we are taking questions afterwards, tarot readings, oracle readings for you, because we like doing it together. It's a lot of fun. So welcome, everybody. I tried to put in as many as I could hellos. Mary Loudon, I did not put your name in. I'm sorry. And who else? Samantha, I see you here too. Thank you all for being here, and we appreciate it.
I feel really bad. I didn't even think to tell anybody of my subscribers that we were doing this, because it escaped my memory that there would be give and take. I didn't even.
It's okay. It's all right. Yeah, it's fine. And Book Bewitched is here. Okay. Thank you for being here. Yeah. So, so, I mean, this is just a little taste of what Helen does. Hi, Kim. She's working on, Helen has her fingers in probably 5 or 6 different books at a time, don't you? I mean, I've seen you do that.
I've got 5 or 6 done. I'm always working on the next one, and I kind of allow them to present themselves when it's the right time,
Sure. I'm wondering if you would if you're thinking at all about Liz Cheney's book that just came out.
I would not spend my money on it.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I know
that's okay. No, that's okay.
Close-minded. Oh, Sherry. Don't tell my husband.
Yeah. Hi, Lisa.
I respect Liz Cheney for having the courage of her convictions, but her convictions don't go very far.
No, they were talking about that today on the news. They said the Democrats, something about, they can't get it out of their mind that she was Dick's daughter, and the Republicans think she threw them under the bus, and I don't think she did either of that, really. So but I don't think I'd pay the money for it. I get it. So we're going to be on Kelly's channel. Yes, I found out my daughter is celebrating her birthday, and I get her dog. So we're going to be on Kelly's channel on the 16th together. So there you go. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So, and hi, Diana, oil painter. It's nice to see you.
Oh, well, Peter,
So,
hi.
yeah. So, what other kinds of things are you digging up in your? You don't have to tell us the name of the books because I know you. They're sort of
Well, I
secret.
will. I will tell you this one because I've already talked about it because I can't believe how good it is. I'm doing Rachel
Okay.
Maddow's book,
Oh, right. Yeah.
but I can't put it on air
Mm-hmm.
until the end of January because I'm currently on YouTube probation. I covered a book 2 years ago, Bob Woodward's book Peril, and apparently some quote from the book ticked off the algorithms and I got in trouble. And
Yeah.
I didn't realize it. And until you address the situation, you're in limbo, whether you
Right.
know it or not. And as soon as you address the situation, then you serve 3 months probation. So I have to be very careful. So
It's
I'm
kind of
doing
sad
a
that.
lot of
Yeah. Yeah.
philosophical stuff
Yeah.
right now because they can't get mad at you for, philosophical religious
True.
concepts,
That's true. Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, Amanda, that's true. And there's even some people who have been dinged for mentioning what happened in 2020 that we all experienced with
Oh,
regard
that
to
unfortunate medical
health.
incident
And
that we
yes,
all
that
suffered together.
yes, you
I
can't
never I
say
don't
the
even say the
word.
word.
I know.
I got in
Yeah.
trouble for it too.
Hmm.
That wasn't
Yeah.
my other trouble. Uh,
Right.
Denise Siegel and I were talking about it, and we were ridiculing people local to me
Uh-huh.
who denied.
Yes.
And I
You made a
got
joke.
snarky. I pretended
Yeah.
I was one of them talking, and I got in
Uh-huh.
trouble for medical misinformation.
I know. That's when you have to have a sign that says for entertainment purposes only.
No, if you say something, they'll.
Hmm. I
I
didn't know
I
this
watch.
because I say the S word sometimes. I don't say the F word usually, but I didn't know about that. Wow.
I had no idea. Now I learned to swear at my grandmother's knee, and my grandmother, she swore like a sailor and she smoked like a chimney.
I love her. Oh my God, we would have gotten along well. Yeah.
Her idea of a well-rounded meal was strong tea with sugar and milk and cookies.
Huh? There you go.
And she lived
Sounds
to be
like.
in her late 70s, so
Did
I
she
don't
really?
know.
Okay. That's really cool. My next door neighbor used to invite me over for, I didn't have a grandmother. So she was the town librarian. And she invited me over for peanut butter and potato chip cookies and cambric tea. And that was my, yes. And
Oh, oh.
she wasn't very grandmotherly, but she really taught me a lot of things.
Well,
She really did.
librarian, it rubbed
Yeah.
off,
Yeah. 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 Uh-huh.
right?
Yes. Uh-huh.
When I was a very little girl, we had an old couple that lived next door. And now that I think about it, it's kind of remarkable. They were gourmet chefs on a high class cruise ship in the 19 teens and 20s.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, I know. And they
Yeah.
had no children and they had retired. They were quite elderly. And they would have us over for lunch, my brother
Uh-huh.
and me,
Yeah.
once a week.
Right.
And she had, I'll never forget it. It was like Willy Wonka. She had a pantry where she baked once a week.
Yep.
And the pantry was floor to ceiling cakes and pies and cookies.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, wow,
Yeah.
wow. Wow, that's interesting. My grandfather, who I never knew any of these people, they were all dead in the 40s, and I didn't come around till the 50s. But my grandfather came over from Wales. He was a baker on the ships, and he was supposed to be on the Titanic.
Oh my God.
And
Oh
he
wow.
he either they changed or whatever it was, but he ended up coming here to the United States, and my mother was born here in the United States, but most of her brothers and sisters, all, like 10 of the 13 were born over in Wales. And so my grandfather, my grandmother died in childbirth when my mother was 5 years old.
Oh my
And
God.
my grandfather became like a janitor and other things, but he was from what I see, he was fairly an interesting guy. Yeah.
I think you and I were separated at birth. My father, my
Uh-huh.
father's the youngest of 13.
Okay. Yeah.
And on the other side of the family, my mother's grandparents, her grandfather died very, very young, and her mother was pregnant with their 7th son, and she supported them as a janitor in churches.
Oh my God.
How weird is that?
Is that when we both got the cleaning crew thing, huh?
It rubbed off on me.
It rubbed off. Yeah. It's very interesting. Especially when I went back and I found all the passports and stuff through Ancestry.com of my grandmother when she was brought over here, and a picture of her with my youngest aunt, the one before, the next one was the one that died. And then my grandfather brought over a bride from the UK because he wanted somebody to take care of his kids.
He needed a babysitter.
I know he did. And she came over and they got married, and she kind of took over and everything. And then somebody wrote and said, she's still married over here. Send her back. So scandal.
I bet there was a lot of that.
I bet there was. Yeah.
Trying to upscale their lives, take off somewhere else. Here's a little tidbit of gossip. The Koch brothers.
Oh, yes.
Very conservative, top 1% billionaires, come from a family. Their father, Fred, was an oil baron, sold oil and gas to the Nazis and the Russians during World War II. He was an avid believer in the Fuhrer. Right. And as a result, he hired governesses for those sons who he would only hire Nazi governesses. And that's why they are the way they are.
Okay. Speaking of Nazis, although he wasn't one, but he was kind of like them, what did you think about Henry Kissinger?
I wanted to know who drove the stake through his heart. That's what I wanted to know. Satan didn't want him. My husband, when he was 100 years old, even the devil wouldn't take him.
Well, and I was saying, one of the shows I was saying, why is it that old people people that aren't the nicest tend to live the longest? And I never figured that, like him and, there were others, of course, but 100 years old for this cranky old man, what a mess.
That horrible, what's the word I want? That spite that flows through their veins keeps them alive.
Yeah. Keeps him alive, I guess so.
He wasn't just a cranky old man; he was a war criminal.
Oh, I know he was in Cambodia, especially. Yeah.
I swore I wasn't going to talk about him.
You did.
I mean, on my own channel, I swore I wasn't going to talk about him. I read cards on why are people praising him? What is wrong with us?
Yeah. Yeah. My son, who is a very political-driven person in college, he wrote, the day just got better. Our Henry left. So, yeah.
Isn't that terrible?
Isn't
He's saving us a seat in the hot place.
All right. So let's do some readings. And I could talk to you all day, but
let's do it again. Cards.
Yeah, let's do some cards.
I'm just going to do a couple of cards.
So Sonia wants a message from her angels on how my upcoming visit to my daughter will go. All right, Sonia.
We have daughters. We know the stress.
Helen has 5 daughters. Can you even imagine? You never got a chance to get in the bathroom,
Well, no, that was more my childhood because there were 15 people in my house in one bathroom. Yeah. But that was always something that I insisted on. We always had 2 bathrooms.
Oh, well, that too still is difficult. But I feel, I know. Poor Marvin, honestly. So I've pulled some cards. The first card I got was 3 people. So you're going to go see your daughter. Are you also, is there her husband or boyfriend, her kid there, anybody there? There's 3 people that are showing up in this visit, Sonia. I'm getting that there might be some external factors that you'll have to deal with. I don't know what that means exactly, but if you're going to visit around the Mercury retrograde, just plan on, making time, because things kind of get fouled up there. It says, you're just going to love it. It's going to be wonderful. You'll have a wonderful time. And there might be some secrets that are told. She might have something to tell you. I don't know. Anyway, I'd be interested if later you find out something. There you go.
So I got the Seven of Cups, which in this particular context, to me, it feels like a lot of mixed emotions. There's a lot going on there to get back together with her or them. I don't know if it's married, grandchildren, whatever. But there's a little bit of drama. Queen of Wands, maybe some family jealousy, some family drama going on. But look what I got. She's got something to tell you.
See, look.
This happens every time.
Helen, that's a riot.
I know.
Yes, and that's what I get with three people. There may be some drama. I mean, that might be.
Yeah.
But of course,
I get
you're
the
going to love
sense
it.
you're anticipating a little, maybe a little fear that there will be drama,
Maybe.
little jealousies and family stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always what happens, right?
Absolutely. But I think it's a riot that we both got the secret. Some secret or something that she's going to tell you. That's wonderful. I don't sense it's bad necessarily. I just, it's interesting. Yeah. Are there any words of wisdom? Okay. Oh, look at your kitty cat.
Is that I can't see that. It's too small.
Yeah, it's a kitty cat.
Is it a little kitty?
Little tiny kitty in a box. Yeah. Yes, I had on yesterday. I had the animal communicator come on, and it was fabulous. She's going to come back next month. I met her when I went back east, and
you have to let me know.
Good. She's pretty good. Yeah. All right. So, Mary, here's some words of wisdom. It looks like you're going through some kind of a transformation. You've moved from the caterpillar to the beautiful butterfly, or you're beginning to move into that energy. And it's an energy of new beginnings for you. I don't know in what area, but if the guides are working with you, then it's probably a spiritual journey that you're on. And they're wanting to remind you, make sure you set boundaries. You don't want anyone to step on you. You want to make sure you protect yourself. And so don't forget to do that, because that's part of self-love, is to set a boundary. There you go.
So I got, can you see the Magician?
Yep.
This is about making things happen, manifesting something, taking the action that you can bring about whatever it is. So if you're feeling maybe a little uncertain about your ability to accomplish a goal you have, you're being told that you can make it happen, but it's up to you. And this right now is the start of a new cycle for you. It's the start of a new sort of, what's the word I want? Time in your phase.
A new beginning in her life.
Yeah. And interesting, has to do with creativity maybe, or something from the past.
Okay.
So I don't know if you're being told to dip into your past, like in a family way, or if it's just about reunion with people. Maybe it's about reunion for the holidays, and it's advice that would be a good idea. It can be taken a number of different ways, but there's something here, I think, about creativity, that you can make whatever it is. Are you making Christmas presents? Is that what's going on here?
Oh, maybe.
You can do it.
But spiritual journey is also a form of creativity. So that's wonderful, though. That's great. There you go, Mary. Thank you, Mary. All right, Ilona, may I have a message from Spirit on what I need to know now to keep going? Oh, boy. Okay. We could all use that, huh?
I'm getting being kind to yourself, self-care, that you're not doing enough.
Okay. That's probably true for a lot of us. So there we go.
And I'm pretty indulgent with myself. Okay. Ah.
All right, Alona. I have, first of all, pulled a sacred soul message that says, to praise the sun is to praise your own eyes. Things will come clearly to you. Be grateful and happy with your life. Look at the sunflowers. Beautiful. So I'm feeling as though, yes, self-care is very important. And also what's important is you appreciating that which is around you. And we all need to do that. We need to look at more of the positive than we can. I see a change coming for you and that you will overcome some obstacles. So there you go. Keep up the good work.
Sort of flows into what I got, which is
Okay.
the Ace of Wands reversed, which is about maybe low energy. Maybe you're a little bored with what you're doing, or you have a creative block, or Temperance reversed. There's some sort of imbalance. So this definitely is picking up on your energy right now. You're just sort of
Yeah.
right. And the Seven of Swords reversed. This is always an interesting card to get. I think you can fool yourself into thinking things are something that they're not. Maybe you're fooling yourself into thinking that you're, I don't know, getting enough vitamins, drinking enough water, getting enough, something very simple.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to always be a universal crisis. Just the advice from your guides is that be honest with yourself, and then look at that. Remember that sunflower you got? Look at that.
Yep. There you go with the sun. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
beautiful.
things are going to work out if you just take a step back and reevaluate, try to tweak what you're doing in your daily life to maybe make it more exciting or less exhausting, or
Absolutely.
that's the answer.
Yeah. Good luck, Alona. All right, we have Dear Pierrette White. Let me be the first to offer my condolences to you. I did read on Facebook that she lost her husband on December 1st.
Oh,
And she's one of our community members who has her own channel. And so we want to wrap you up in lots of love and
I'm
healing
so
and
sorry.
spirit. Yeah. It's been a long road for her, and she has been tireless in her care of him.
She
So
you took care of him.
yeah, she did for a long time till he went into more nursing care. But it's been a long haul.
You deserve real recognition for
You
that,
do,
acknowledgement
Pierrette.
for that, because guess
Yes.
what? Not very many people do that.
No, absolutely
Good for
not.
you. Yeah.
All right.
So looking for a little light at the end of the tunnel here for the next year.
Yeah. That's right. So the first card I get here, dear, is forgiveness. If there's anything that you feel either that you didn't do or you did do, or forgive yourself. And because it's time to move on and look at all the beauty around you. So you live in a most beautiful place up in the Atlantic section of Canada. And it's a lovely spot. And I think it will bring you lots of inspiration.
Where's she,
Because
like Nova Scotia or Prince Edward Island? Or...
she is in why don't I remember the name of it? It's before Nova Scotia.
like
It's
Halifax? No, that is
no,
Nova Scotia.
what is it? Not Newfoundland. What is
Prince
the name
Edward
of it, Pierrette? I can't remember. I'm sorry.
Ontario? No.
I've been there. New Brunswick. Thank you.
New
New Brunswick.
Brunswick.
Yeah,
The
I've
one
been to
everybody
Moncton.
always forgets.
Yeah, I've been to Moncton many, many years ago, but she's in New Brunswick, which is a beautiful place. Beautiful. So you know the truth.
Yeah.
You are. This is so beautiful. This is one of my favorite cards, Pierrette, because what it is within you is being allowed to will be allowed to shine through all your truth and all your healing and all of your help for the community is going to really expand. I see a lot of expansion because when you talk, you speak truth, and you are an inspiration for all of us, Pierrette. So Much, much love. Look at that. You're lit up, girl.
That's beautiful.
It
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
It's beautiful. Yeah, you're lit up.
So the energy around you right now is the Page of Wands reversed, sort of in a holding pattern, and a lot of nostalgia and thinking about the past and going back over events in a relationship having to do with this powerful male figure in your life.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
now in the next year, time for some changes. Take the reins. This is the Knight of Swords. It's time to shine the light, like Allie just said. And
Mm-hmm.
Ace of Wands, take action. This is a real an urging to move forward and take command of your life. You've been kind of sitting in one place. I don't mean literally, but maybe you have. But you've been in a holding pattern as far as
She has been.
energy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now it's time. Now you can make some changes and move forward.
Yeah. Much
I'm
love,
so sorry.
dear.
That's so hard.
It is. It's very difficult.
How long
Yeah.
were they married?
I want to say they've been married. I don't know, 20. I may be wrong here. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. In at least 20 years, but probably
Decades.
more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. That's awful.
I know.
Yeah, it's so hard.
Yeah. Anyway, yep. Much love and support from this community, my dear. 20 years. Okay. That's all right. That's what I thought.
How many?
That's a long time. That's a long time. 20.
20.
20 years. Yep. Still a long time.
It's a long time. Yeah.
I just had somebody contact me and ask me if I'd like to speak to a reporter about something that happened 21 years ago. And I said, I can't really say yes because it was so long ago. How could I remember what? Yeah.
21 years ago.
That
was just after 9/11, basically.
It was 2001 and or 2002. It was in that time period.
Yeah.
And I thought, God, that was 20 years ago. It was a long time ago, wasn't it? Yeah. Yes.
It's like somebody else's life.
Yeah, it is. So hi, Juanita and Andrew D'Angelo podcast. It's always nice to see you.
Andrew!
Yeah.
You know where he is?
No.
He's in the other end of the earth. He's in Berlin.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Hey, Andrew.
All right. That's awesome.
Fancy meeting you here.
I know. He said it was good to see the both of us. So that's wonderful. So thanks for coming in. Berlin, huh? Oh, I read that. Did you ever read that book about oh God, it had to do with, it was during Nazi German time, and it was about our representative.
Berlin Diary.
No, this one was by the guy that he's really, really good. He did like a boat one, the Lusitania, and he did another one, and he did this one, and it was about our representative to Berlin, like from 1933 to 1939.
He lived in the main place.
He lived in Berlin. Yeah.
Yeah. He was.
It was amazing.
Ambassador or something.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he had like his family with him at the time. And
was his name Morgenthau? Was
maybe. It was a long time ago that I read it, but it was quite fascinating.
Andrew, I apologize. I would have told you about this, except I spaced on the fact that Allie does interact. I don't even know what to call it.
Yeah. Well, he's glad to make a live, so we're glad you're here.
Yeah. So what, does he have a question?
He does not have a question, but if he wishes to put one in, we will answer him. So, because we got 2 right now to do, and then we could probably take maybe 1 or 2 more. You would love a message. So guess what? I'm going to use my higher self cards. How about that? All right. Ooh. All right, Scorpio Mama, I think you're going to like this. It says you have been persevering. You've been putting one foot right in front of the other and going the distance. You've been working toward what it is that you want, and that it's become successful for you because of it, because you trust. They're reminding you to continue to trust in that all will be as it should be. And look at this beautiful feather on the top. So it's almost like it's a gift from the ethers coming. And look at who will bring success.
Well, these are beautiful cards.
Thank you. Yeah, they're very nice. I buy cards like you buy books.
Okay, so I get the light at the end of the tunnel here.
Okay.
This is whatever the issue that you're working through, you're reaching a point of decision. So the time is coming for you to make some sort of decision, but the advice from your higher self is to do it with peace and reconciliation and forgiveness and compromise in mind. And this card often can mean compromise. So the compromise is like emphasized here. And look within. Get your guidance from within. Too often we kind of ask other people, well, what do you think we should do? Asking friends and neighbors and stuff. But your higher self is within and will tell you, just look within.
Yeah, absolutely. So Deb K, we can take one more. We've got two that we're doing, and we could probably take one more. Okay. All right. So Amanda Carroll would love a reading. Seems I'm looking for another job again. Oh, honey. Oh. She's a caregiver. She's a great lady. She's got a beautiful dog named Jack. I've met her. She lives near where I live, and we met in Renton, actually. And
so is this like at-home elder care or
Alzheimer's or something like that?
Okay, yes. Yeah. Hey, I did that. Yeah.
You did, yeah. Amanda's wonderful, but I didn't know that you were looking for another job again. I'm sorry. All right. Will you get a vehicle? Okay. Yes, I did, Juanita. Yep, I saw yours. All right, so what happened to the old job, Amanda? Because I'm getting like a knife cut. I'm getting that there's some kind of a betrayal or angry outburst that cut deep. I'm not sure if that's what happened. That's kind of what I see here. And the shield had to go up. You had to be defensive for some reason. So I don't know if this is something coming up or if this is currently what happened and why you need another job. But I do get to focus on the future. And, I'm going to pull one more just for a clarifier here because I feel like I need one. It's interesting because it's the theater mask. And the theater mask is saying that you have conflicted feelings and good and bad experiences that have been sprinkled through this job search. So be careful. Be careful next time. Be careful. That's what I'm getting from this card.
Yeah, my cards are saying something there was something weird about how the last job ended is what I'm getting. So I got, once again, I got the Ten of Swords, which is also about inevitable endings. And when you're a caregiver, that can imply something not too great, but that there was some sort of abuse of power. The Six of Pentacles. So I don't know, was it like a conflict or just the inevitable ending of that kind of a job? But whatever, there's going to be a choice. You're going to have an offer. And I think I always love this card when it comes up, the Two of Cups, when it comes up in I always, whenever I get something good on the cards, my nose itches. Weird. It's so weird. Yeah. This is like the caduceus, like the symbol, the medical symbol. It's not exactly, but it's like that, like the medical symbol. I get the feeling that you're going to have a choice of some sort of related position, and it'll pay. It'll pay, and it's going to be a good Christmas in the sense that you're going to feel more stable and stable. Yeah.
I
Glad to
think the
be free
cards
of it.
say that, yeah, that they were kind of ominous.
Yeah, there was something
Yeah.
weird going on with that
So
dog.
I understand
Yeah.
that. Yeah. So I think you probably, it would have been too much drama. And I've had that happen before in my life. It's not good. So good luck, honey. Absolutely. And Andrew, thank you for the donation. That is so very kind of you. My goodness. It's so nice to have you here. All right.
Andrew is a talented musician.
Oh, I believe it.
Saxophone.
I
Yeah.
believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've gone over and looked over on his channel as well. So, yeah. So Juanita wonders if I know this is not good. She says, I don't know for sure, but a blue light came on. I noticed it had a thought, does he spy? So I covered it. All right, let's see what the cards say. Ooh, I don't,
TVs have cameras?
Well, it could be one of the, there are people that have gone into like hotels and things, and that's happened to them through mirrors and stuff like that. So if there's a blue light that came on.
Let's look at this Paul character.
Yeah.
The very fact that you would be uncomfortably suspicious is a red flag in my opinion.
Well, definitely. Definitely. Yeah. Oh, boy. So the first card I get is a lion. It's all about power.
Power.
Yeah. And I'm getting here, this man has no self-control. And he's being very strategic. I'm glad you put a cover over it. It's important to do that because he's like playing a game. That's what I get. Now, of course, I don't want to destroy your roommate relationship by a card reading here, but this is what the cards say. That's all. It seems he has some kind of a revenge thing going on. That's, if you ever watch V for Vendetta, that's what this card sort of symbolizes. But let's see what Helen gets in her card.
Well, I got there's something moral and ethical in question here related to power, related to authority.
Yeah.
So that's kind of scary.
Yeah.
And then somebody who is tortured inside, kind of in a sense of desperation within. He's got some sort of negative emotional struggle going on with himself. So I don't know, self-doubt, or I don't know what that is. And somebody who could be a little bit ruthless, like a kid in a man's body, huh? And oh my God, the Eight of Cups reversed. Lack of maturity. There you go. So I'd be cautious. I'd put a lock on my door. I'd cover my computer and my camera at night. Mm-hmm. I would just be cautious.
I would too. And it's a camera that's on top of the TV, she said. And so if it had the blue light, then it had to have been the only reason I get was because he's immature and because he feels he has some kind of a vendetta. Or some kind of a control power thing going on.
Well, that whole incel thing, young men who are really misogynist, but it's because they feel threatened, they feel fearful of women, they're in juvenile, immature, and it manifests in lashing out.
Yeah.
Yep. And so best to be careful. And you don't want to live in a situation where you've got that suspicion going on all the time.
That's right. Miss Moonlight says you can buy a camera detector for $30 on Amazon. It's good for vacations and hotels. I don't want you to live in that situation, though. If
yeah.
And you
maybe we should quickly look at the cards. Just her living situation. I just have
sure. She is very intuitive. She's going to be on in a couple of weeks with me. She's a reader. She doesn't have her own channel right now, but so when you're that intuitive, you kind of know the answer.
Well, the fact that you're asking the question, means
absolutely.
that the suspicion is in your mind, which means it's coming from somewhere,
She doesn't think he's dangerous, but he is weird. Yeah, I get it, honey. But
Aren't
we
they
don't.
all? Okay. These cards just jumped out here.
So we're
let's see.
looking into her living situation. Is that right? Okay. All right.
Oh, interesting. Can I show you what I got?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Page of Cups. It's about immature curiosity.
Okay.
It's like a child, somebody
Uh-huh.
who doesn't have strong boundaries because he's, immature or just not. Trust your gut.
Yeah. Trust your gut.
Trust your gut. Yeah.
Yeah. That's yeah. I think that no sense to read any further. I will tell you, I had a nephew. He has passed, and he was very quiet, and he was very into porn, I guess. And later on in my life, I found out that he had molested my daughter, and she was only 7, and my daughter didn't tell me till she was about 13. But it's the quiet ones you got to watch. I hate to say that, but yeah.
I'm sorry. It's much more prevalent.
It is more so than
anybody wants to admit.
That's very true.
And children are intimidated into not.
Yeah, of course.
You know.
And so, Juanita, we're not trying to, of course, scare you or anything like that, but just be alert.
No, but it's good to have tools. It's good to be aware. It is good to have. You need to be aware.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, so our final reading for this evening is when will I get a vehicle? Which is really hard to tell exactly.
Time is difficult. But let's look at the energy around you.
Yeah.
And transportation.
Mm-hmm. Much love, Juanita. I can't wait till we have our show. I'm looking forward to it. Who came in that said that they came in late and that they wish they were here earlier? I want to see. Somebody did. And say hello. Jeanette M. Hi, Jeanette M. 50 minutes in and I just found my 2 faves in conversation. Well, you're very sweet. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, we don't always get the chance to be live, so it's a lot of fun. Book, yes. Did I help him pass? He passed after his dad passed. My nephew. That's what she's asking, and my daughter was able to forgive him, actually. And I was very proud of her. She was over 30 years old at the time, and she was able to forgive him, and it really set her free.
Yeah, it's healing for yourself. It's not about the other person at all. Yeah. It took me 65 years to figure that out. Just the other year.
Yeah.
You have to. Revenge is just holding.
Yeah, and I think that he actually killed himself because he was a diabetic who didn't take care of himself. He lost his feet. He lost his sight. He had his own
passive self-destruction. Yeah.
Destruction. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's terrible. Okay, the question about the vehicle. I think we have an issue of money here.
Oh.
I think you're struggling to afford it more than anything else. But the opportunity is coming. Now I can't give you like deadlines, but we're looking at the next few months or 6 months, in the next beginning of the year, first half of the year. It looks like your desire will be met, and this 3 of Wands is about looking a little farther into the future yet. It's not going to be tomorrow. Santa Claus might bring it, but no. I think you just have to be sensible about the money part, and it will come.
So I'm kind of the same thing going on here, but the first one I get is the heels, and the heels are trying to impress someone. So you may not get the car that you want right now. In other words, but don't sneeze at the Honda or the Kia in the yard. that has good mileage and is a good price and so on and so forth. It's a vehicle that just gets you from here to there. So you may not have the most fancy car, in other words. I get an announcement is coming and a bell will ring. So I'm thinking, yes, keep saving, and maybe say, instead of giving me something for Christmas, can you give me money? Maybe you
For the
can ask
car. Yeah,
for the car,
that's a good idea.
toward the car. It says here that the moon comes up. I don't know if that means that, it's going to be the next moon that's up, but
Passage of a few months. Yeah.
yeah, maybe a passage of it, but it's going to be your intuition and your emotions will be able to tell what's going to work for you and what vehicle would be best for you to get. So
let me tell you something about what you wish for. I
Mhm.
never had a new car. My family always had cars that were 1,000 years old and fell apart on the highway. I
Mhm.
took
Mhm.
many a ride in the front of a tow truck. So
Yep.
10 years ago, I started saving, just really aggressively saving, because I really wanted a car, not new, but I eventually got my wish and I afforded a car that's a couple of years old, right? And all the
Mhm.
parts worked, the doors open and shut.
Yep.
My former car was literally held together with bungee cords. I'm not exaggerating. So I
Right.
was very, very excited. And no sooner did I buy that car, about 2 months later, the unfortunate medical event occurred, and I haven't driven my car except
Yeah.
around the block.
Around the block and back. I get it. I get it. Well, it will be there whenever you're ready to
That's right. That's
venture out
right.
again. Sherry went through a situation where she needed a new car. Sherry, the reader, Sherry, and she she was really wanting a new one, and then unfortunately, her son got in a car accident
Oh
in that car,
yes.
but she
Oh
ended up with a new car, a new, not a brand new car, but a
yeah.
newer, a car for
Yeah.
herself. So
I
yeah.
got hit by a school bus one morning, and that gave me just enough money to push me over the edge to afford the car. It wrecked my VW van, so you know how old my car was. It was falling apart. And coming
Uh-huh.
around the corner, dropping my daughter off one morning, the bus driver just didn't see me and hit my car. And it was not, I mean, the car worked. I could drive it, but I
Yeah.
got enough money that I was.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
just never know.
You never know. That's
Yeah,
right. That's
yeah.
absolutely right. Um, Dolores, we are all done with our questions right now, but I don't know how you got scammed, but you need to definitely work with the police if you can. I will tell you that I was scammed probably about 10 years ago and I reported it. I even found the guy that scammed me and the police did nothing about it. So yeah, kind of, you know.
There's a lot of that kind of thing that's going on nowadays. It's easy to get people.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm sorry.
Actually, Craig Dixon, one of our people that are here all the time, he was called and told that his something was wrong with his daughter and he needed to hurry up and come home. And he was in another location in Utah and he had to drive back to Albuquerque. And it was a scam. And he was on his vacation. So
It was just to toy with him.
yes, what they did was they wanted him to go down to the ATM machine on this certain place and take out money and write, do all this stuff. And so his lawyer said it was not real. But here he is like 900 or whatever miles away from home. I know. Isn't that awful? Yeah.
Karma is not a spectator sport. We don't get to see the pleasure of watching
That's
people
right.
suffer for their
Yep.
poor behavior,
Hmm.
but it's inevitable.
Yeah,
It is
it definitely
inevitable.
is.
Yeah.
Definitely is. So, Deb K, yes, two people in the chat. You said you're thinking of spring. I think that probably is realistic. And somebody else in the chat said they saw spring for you as well. So there you
There
go.
you
I
go.
hope that
A few
helps you.
months.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2 months. Yep. So thank you so much, Helen. Always a pleasure. We'll
It was
come
so
back
much
again.
fun. I'm
I
glad we
know.
did it.
Come back again. And
Very
thank
glad
you,
we did it.
everybody in the chat. Thank you for your questions and your comments. It's always nice to spend time with you. And have yourself a wonderful rest of your evening.
Thank you for letting us read cards for you. That was fun. I really
It
enjoyed it.
was
I hope
fun.
it helps. Hope it
Yeah.
helps.
Yep. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you later. Bye bye.